This is the TSLA mid-year review for the 2025 one-year overview reading. It's currently July 2nd, 2025 at 9:55 p.m. Eastern Time. Tesla at the time of this reading, $315.65 USD. We were recommending this stock all the way back when it was $20, and they hadn't even purchased Solar City yet. It must have been like 2014, 2015. I don't remember exactly, but I mean it was $20. People thought we were crazy. Generally speaking, when you're at the forefront on the cutting edges of an industry, people think you're crazy until after you die. So I'm willing to accept that. The fact remains that was a killer prediction. The Tesla reading, the original prediction, the video was posted on YouTube December 27, 2024. Here's the file, the PNG, 12/27/24, 1:20 a.m. Eastern Time. Oh, excuse me, October 3rd, 2024, 5:23 p.m. Eastern Time. That's when it was created. I'm going to put the link to the description of that video. I'll put the link to that video in the description of this video, so you can go watch the original if you want. All right, so with that said, what we're actually going to cover in this video will be the remaining trend for the year. We're going to give you the week-by-week chart behavior, the sequence of chart events week by week throughout the remainder of the year. We're going to give you information about each month's highest high and each month's lowest low. And we're going to give you information about the year's lowest lows and the year's highest highs, as well as give you one of the best trades that we see for the remainder of the year. All of that in this video. Before we give you one of the best trades, we'll actually review the first half of the year and see what our accuracy was like up against an actual live TradingView chart. I already took a peek. It's pretty phenomenal. Pretty damn good, I gotta say. So we'll show you what our accuracy is like, and then we'll come back, give you one of the best trades, and then I'll show you guys how to get some of the game-changing services we provide through our Discord and through our website. One thing to just keep in mind if you're new to this channel, two things actually. The sequence of chart events that we're predicting week by week, the timing is usually on point. In most of these one-year videos, it'll be on point to the week, but there's plenty of cases where you'll need to give a one-year reading, plus or minus 2 to 3 weeks of wiggle room. It's the sequence of chart events as outlined by the prediction that is most important to pay attention to. The timing is secondary, because even if the timing is off a little bit, the sequence of chart events will remain accurate. And it's for that reason mainly that I do not recommend trading this information alone. You should only trade this information if you have access to our Discord trade alerts and TradingView chart links, where we actually draw the entry and the exit into and out of these trades. But with that said, guys, I'll show you again how to get that at the end of the video. Let's get into it. So what's really interesting is the overall theme card for this year was a pretty bullish card. However, it was crossed with sideways rotation along key support on a multi-day scale. And when you see something like this up on the tag, this is a clear kinetic impression indicating a pretty significant move to the downside, at least on a one-year level. So likely what we have overall was a move to the upside, move to the downside, sideways rotation at the lows. And it looks like the highs are likely in. I'm going to take a closer look as we progress through this reading, but it looks like the highs are likely in for the year. As far as the timing of the lowest lows for the year, I'll be discussing those in the total access version of this video. That's where you get those game-changing services. I'll show you how to get it at the end of the video. All right, so here in July, we've got sideways rotation. This is a pretty interesting month. So it looks like we have lows at the beginning of the month on the one-year reading. But I think cross-referencing that with the monthly Tesla reading probably yields a little bit of a wiggle room. What do I mean by that? The Tesla monthly, no, matter of fact, it does. It looks like the lows are at the beginning of the month on both the monthly and the 1 year, so that's a pretty good congruency. So we should see a sideways rotation along key support. Probably have our low in the second week at lower end of a key support, or a key range, the lower end of a range on at least a 1 year chart scale. Everything I talk about in this video, by the way, will be on the scale of a 1 year chart with 1 day candlesticks, unless otherwise specified. So this range, the low for July will be at at the lower end of a 1-year chart range minimum, rotating sideways. There's equal amounts of bulls and bears, inflow and outflow in the later part of the month, meaning that we should do some sideways behavior, possibly with big swings, possible with narrow swings. Either way, you usually finish off around the same price level as you started with that card. So the second half of the year overall should be kind of like, or second half of July should be overall sideways with those swings. And what's interesting, it's all sideways rotation in there and range. The information for the chart behavior around the July high, sideways rotation, and a sharp drop that'll stand out in that period of sideways rotation, likely mid to late in the month, with a drop into the cusp of July, August, followed by a retracement back to the levels from which we dropped in early to mid August. The beginning of August, we see a rally. Around the August high, we see erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level. In the midst of that erratic behavior, we're likely revisiting the crest that we saw as a high in July, recently an opportunity. Behavior around the August low, there'll be an important resistance level that will rally into and then abruptly turn around and decline out of past the point of the rally where the rally into it started. So lower than that point into the low for August. And the later part of August looks like it's pretty bearish. Sideways, a decline to and through support to mean another support, and then we rotate sideways along that second support. Major trough on a 1-year chart scale taking place there with that sideways rotation in the later part of August. When we move into early September, it looks like the support that we're rotating sideways along. It looks like it becomes reliable and holds tight. A matter of fact, major support that it actually looks like we may break down through. Usually you can rely upon it, but it looks like we may break down through it temporarily. There's both a peak and a trough on a 1-year chart scale within close time proximity to early September. The behavior around the September high, we have an overbought crest that we sell off from through multiple support levels. I'm seeing a pretty sharp drop mid-month. Pretty sharp drop mid-month, and then likely after making significant lows, we make a new high, not a new high for the year, but a new high after making lows in the later part of September. So some bullish behavior in the later part of September after a sharp drop into lows mid-month. Probably some sideways rotation near that high too before we move into October, and likely sell off from that crest down to and through support. We do a U-shaped reversal below another support level, break out through it to the upside, and then reuse it as support there in the early part of October. Another sharp move to the downside mid-month. Behavior around the October high, however, a big move higher, pushing the upper end of a range higher. Behavior around the October low, a resistance level highlighted that will decline from and return to at least once within October. And if not at least once within October, then very, very likely we'll see it in November. In the later part of October, we're declining to revisit a support level that we recently saw as a major opportunity in the not too distant past. So like within the past month or so. And it does look like we're revisiting troughs from around August, September. We should be revisiting them again around October, November. I'm advised to be cautious in the early part of November. Some sort of tricky chart behavior there that could make you do the wrong thing impulsively. Multiple false tops or bottoms or whipsaw action. We'll know in much more detail when we get to that moment in time. It'll be easy to see what that's representing. And that's why the Discord trade alerts and chat channel are so important, because in real time I'm able to keep you guys on point even when there's wiggle room or some sort of discrepancy. Mid-month of November, big move to the upside. It looks like the November high, we have a prominent move higher through key resistance. We stay above it briefly and then we break back down through it shortly thereafter with the full retracement. The November low, we should see sideways rotation ending with a big move to the upside. And there's resistance in the later part of November that's highlighted that we decline from and return to at least once within the later part of November or early December. It could very well be that it's the revisiting of the resistance involved in the October low. And if that's the case, it's not so much guaranteed that we see it again after we see it again in November. But it's possible. It's something that you come to more than once, usually more than twice. Um, Now, in the early part of December, we have another prominent trough. There's a significant trade opportunity there. The Magus card is often offering a significant opportunity to exit for like a real profit. Usually, the Magus card is representing something we've been waiting for, but it's usually a big move. And there's a trough there on a 1 year chart scale in the early part of December. Looks like we have a pop out of that trough, and then we do multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance near the December high. December high is within close time proximity to a significant trough for the year as well. So it could be that we're seeing another trough. We're probably seeing another trough, like 2 troughs in December, based on the December low card being the Ace of Wands, a rally offering opportunity to open up a short position, a rally out of the low of December offering opportunity to open up a short position, usually indicating that we'll see that December low again and or a lower price level. The later part of December, fast sudden move higher. So likely we're coming out of the lows in the later part of December and revisiting the December low in the coming years, my sense. Sneak preview for 2024, for 2026. Sneak preview is an important peak on a multi-year scale, but also a decline increasing with momentum moving forward through time. One of the more bearish cards of the deck for the preview. It doesn't mean the whole year will be bearish, but it does mean that there will be a significant momentum gaining decline taking place in there that'll stand out on a multi-year scale. So when we get into the 2026 year reading, we'll look at it in more detail. All right, so before we get into the best trade that we see for the year, or for the remainder of the year, let's take a look and see how the 2024 year has panned out so far. And guys, this markup, this is actually a language of SO meta-analysis. It was developed to allow for the visual, to visually read an immense amount of data at one time. And so it's a language that like holds up over 3,200 and more videos that we have on YouTube, meaning that I could read without going and looking at the prediction. I could read this language and give you almost the exact same prediction, if not the exact same prediction, just by reading this information. So I'm not going to go listen to the video again. I'm just going to read the language again to you. If you need more validation or more verification or confirmation that this is a legit prediction, again, the link to the original prediction will be in the description of this video and proves that it was posted in 2024. So we had a high in January, a high for the year in January. And we were picking up on a possibility of another high around February, March. It looks like what happened, remember, plus or minus 2 to 3 weeks of wiggle room in some cases. We picked up on 2 highs and they both kind of squeezed into January. There was also this other place where we almost came into a high, but not quite. And that's kind of probably like what was going on here. But this overall is pretty solid so far. There was a significant move to the downside in the later part of January, as indicated by the failure card. A huge move to the upside in January. And then we had like this fake out move in February, where it looks like the decline is over, but we end up continuing to decline. And what that takes us is into March and April lows. We had lows here in April, and you can see they end up being basically the same prices as March, just maybe just slightly lower. In May, we had a lot of price change covered in May. Looks like we were a little bit off on that movement went to the upside. We were expecting this sharp drop here that ended up being in early June to be more so over here, but that's that unicursal hexagram decline. Sideways rotation in early June, bearish price swings in the later part of June with a high for June in the later part of June, a low for June in the earlier part of June. Big move off of the lows, reaching for distant resistance. This is overall really, really solid, guys. We were a little bit iffy on this possible third low. Didn't really come to fruition, but we nailed the first two, and we did come close on the third one. And then we went almost directly into lows in March and April. So with that said, guys, one of the best trades that we had was to short at the highs. Short at the highs of January, close out of them at the lows, or hold it until the lows of February. You could have closed out of the lows of February, all the way down here. That would have been solid. But the main trade would have been to hold it until the lows of cash out at the April lows. I mean, that was a huge gain, guys. If you were taking a short position, 439 all the way down to 219 roughly. Huge trade, monster trade, guys, monster trade. With that said, let's give you one of the best trades that I see for the remainder of the year. So we're probably going to do a lot of back and forth going on along this kind of like price level here into early August, where we see a move to the upside before a drop into, I'm going to adjust these. These were done so long ago, the font isn't even in black. And we're not even using close multi-day short positions. This was posted back in December 2026 of 2024. So really, yeah, that's it. So there's this crest that we revisit in August. It'll be roughly the same price level as the crest or highs from July. You want to use that as an opportunity to get into a short, and you would hold that short through the sharp decline in September into September lows. What I like about this trade is that there's opportunity, there's backup opportunity. If that doesn't work out so well, there's another opportunity at lows probably in a month or two. You don't like to hold a short that long. It's called short for a reason, but backup exits can be helpful. Rule of thumb, though, never wait for a backup exit with SO Meta. Always go for the first profitable exit. Take that money and run. All right, guys, so I'm going to show you how to get the total access subscription, which will give you the remaining trades that I see throughout the year. It'll give you the timing of the lowest lows for the year and any highs for the year that I see, all of that in the total access version. But also what it'll get you, the total access version will also get you access to all of these ticker and crypto channels where we have all sorts of information. We do 1 year readings. We have 1 year reading information for all of these tickers and crypto. Some of them we're tracking trades with the live Discord trade alerts and TradingView chart links. And you can see these are examples of trades for Tesla in real time and placed and drawn ahead of time. The bigger the ellipse, the greater the time frame of the reading it's based on, i.e. the broader the information. But you can see we get down into the monthlies even, and you would have all this information in real time along with the Discord trade alerts in real time as part of the Total Access subscription. You go to our website, Tarot for Traders, hover over Order Now, click on Subscriptions. The Total Access subscription right now, we have 1 year information for 2025 for all of these crypto and ticker symbols right here. And there's even some that aren't on here, matter of factly, and we've got some 2026s already in there. So you would get all that as well as the day-by-day sequence of chart behavior for all of the monthly readings, which are these tickers, and the day trade alerts and hour-by-hour sequence of chart events for SPY with the day trade alerts and chart drawings. You get all of this stuff as part of the premier subscription on our website, tarotfortraders.com. Total access, $500 a month. $5,000 for the year. My God, guys, you make that money back in so many trades. It's ridiculous. Like in one trade over repeatedly is what I mean. The majority of our trades are profitable. We're not right all the time, so don't trade like a jerk. Trade responsibly, and you will make consistent money with these services. Much love and appreciation, everybody that goes ahead and supports the channel with that subscription. And blessings to all my angel investors Going to the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders, and fulfilling the whole purpose of the channel, which is to transmute the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill. 5% of all profits should be donated back to the channel through one of these links. 5% of all profits should be donated forward to one of these charities through these links, leaving you at 90%. Make sure to spend that 90% out of love. Following those rules makes you an angel investor of the channel. Universe will send it back to you tenfold for following through. Not to mention, you'll feel good about yourself and you'll be helping the world. Blessings to all my angel investors. I'll see you guys on the Total Access version.